The third year after our breakup, Julian and I reunited at a luxury hotel. I was a receptionist. He checked into the presidential suite with a female companion. That night, I received 3 internal calls from him.
The sheets are dirty. Change them.
I called housekeeping to handle it. 2 hours later, he called again to have the sheets changed. I complied once more. At 2 in the morning, he made his third call. I politely refused before he could even speak.
I'm sorry, sir, but housekeeping has already gotten off work.
The man let out a light scoff and said casually,
Then you come change them.
I ignored him and hung up the phone straight away. I worked at the front desk. There was no reason for me to do housekeeping's job. A colleague leaned in and asked me mysteriously,
Was it that guest from the presidential ute again?
Seeing me nod, she covered her mouth and snickered.
Making housekeeping change the sheets 3 times in one night? His stamina is really something. So, when you told him housekeeping was off duty, what did he say?
I told her the truth.
He told me to go up and change them.
My colleague froze for a moment, then she let out a sarcastic laugh.
Does staying in the presidential suite make him a big deal? He really doesn't respect people. Does he think the hotel is his home? Treating us receptionists like 24-hour maids?
I kept my eyes fixed on the computer screen.
Some guests just get off on making others jump. My job description doesn't include changing sheets for anyone.
Before she could finish, the phone in front the manager. I didn't know what was said on the other end. My colleague suddenly widened her eyes and looked at me.
You're saying Chloe Bennett should go up to the presidential suite to change the sheets right now?
15 minutes later, I stood at the door of the presidential suite. Bracing myself, I pressed the doorbell. The one who answered the door was Julian, dressed in a bathrobe, loosely tied at the waist. Seeing it was me, he stepped aside to let me in. The faint sound of splashing water came from the bathroom. His girlfriend was still inside. He led me into the bedroom, then he sat down on the sofa to the side, minding his own business, with perfect composure. He placed a cigarette between his lips and lit it. Before I could reach for the fresh linens, a voice drifted from the bathroom.
Babe, I'm getting hungry. Can you order something up?
Julian didn't glance toward the bathroom, he looked straight at me instead.
You heard her. Go get room service. I'll wait.
I stood there for a second, then I turned and walked back out. Minutes later, I returned with a silver tray, 2 glasses of sparkling water, a plate of sliced fruit. Julian's bathrobe had slipped further open while I was gone. His chest was half exposed. He didn't bother fixing it. His eyes followed every step I took toward the bedside table. The woman in the bathroom hummed a tune, completely unaware. I set the tray down carefully, my fingers trembled slightly. Julian watched me with an expression I couldn't read.
Thanks.
His voice was casual to casual, like ordering room service from any receptionist. He gestured toward the bed with his chin.
The sheets. Get to it.
I walked to the bed and silently pulled back the quilt. The water stain on the bedsheet caught my eye off guard. It felt as if I had suddenly taken a punch to the chest. A dull ache twisted in my heart. I bent forward to strip the dirty linens as I reached across the mattress. I felt him move behind me, his presence closed in. I could feel the warmth of his body near my back, but I kept my head down and kept working. He didn't say a word. He just stood there, watching me bend and reach and smooth the fabric. The silence was louder than anything he could have said. I quickly spread the clean sheet and gathered the dirty linens. Once finished, I turned to leave, but he suddenly closed in. He pressed me tightly against the edge of the bed. Nowhere to run. He leaned in further. I stumbled backward onto the bed. The next second, he yanked my right hand from the bed edge and pinned it above my head. I furrowed my brows, pushing against his chest with my left hand. But the disparity in our strength was too great. I couldn't budge him an inch. The sound of water in the bathroom still hadn't stopped. I struggled to stand up. His other hand traced along my face, all the way to my lips, then pressed hard. I turned my head away, but I could clearly feel his breath hitting my neck, scorching. I trembled all over. Unable to move, I could only lower my voice.
Your new boy only misunderstanding. Let me show.
The man's eyes were cold and sharp, his breath heavy with the scent of alcohol brushing against my ear.
For all these years, I couldn't figure it out.
The sound of running water in the bathroom abruptly stopped, yet he remained completely unfazed. In a panic, I bit down hard on his arm. He frowned and let out a muffled groan. His grip loosened slightly. I took the chance to push him away, fleeing in a panic with the linens in my arms. As the door clicked shut, a woman's voice drifted out.
Stop it! If you call someone to change the sheets again, I'll be too embarrassed to face anyone tomorrow.
I couldn't quite catch his reply. Walking down the silent corridor, my violently racing heart finally began to calm down. I never thought that after 3 years, he would hate me this much. It would have been better if we never crossed paths again for the rest of our lives. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, before my shift started, I walked through the hotel lobby. A woman's voice stopped me cold.
Well, well. If it isn't the little receptionist who wandered into our room last night.
I looked up. Julian's girlfriend stood by the front desk, dressed in designer heels and a silk blouse. She flipped her hair and looked me up and down with open disdain.
My earrings went missing after you left. $3 million worth.
She took a step closer.
I don't know what kind of tricks you pulled before, but let me make something clear. You're nothing but a cheap hotel worker. Julian is way out of your league.
Her lip curled.
Don't ever let me catch you near our room again.
She shoved past me, shoulder checking me hard enough to make me stumble. The manager rushed over, bowing and apologizing to her. I straightened up and said nothing, my hands clenched at my sides. Back at the front desk, my coworker leaned in to gossip.
Do you know who the guest in the presidential suite is today?
It was past midnight, and I was too exhausted to humor her, but she only grew more excited.
I just looked him up online. He's actually the eldest son of the Vance family in Boston.
I said flatly.
It's against the rules to pry into guests' information. I was just curious, okay? No wonder he could alarm our manager with a single phone call at 2 in the morning.
She continued like a machine gun.
I did a quick search. It's all about the Vance family's $100 billion inheritance war. This young master fell seriously in at a critical moment, almost lost his right to inherit. He had a girlfriend back then, his first love too. She was such a gold digger. Cheated on him while he was dying. People online are still cursing that woman to this day.
My coworker's noisy voice buzzed in my ears.
Yeah, I know.
She raised her voice slightly.
You know? Have you read the news too?
I slowly turned my head and looked calmly at her surprised expression. Instantly froze. She couldn't recover for a long while. 3 years ago, when everything began, meeting Julian was an unusual accident. I kicked a creep in the crotch and dragged him to the police station. Julian followed. Leaning against the door waiting for me, he added my WhatsApp, and one thing led to another. The day he confessed his feelings, I asked him why. He just smiled. After a long while, he took my hand.
I was captivated by the way you kicked that guy in the crotch.
We were together for a long time. He bought an apartment near campus, and we lived like an ordinary couple. My parents divorced when I was young. I grew up depending solely on my grandmother. One time on a video call, Julian heard my grandmother say she'd lost her teeth and it was hard to eat. The very next day, he took her to get dentures over $200,000. He didn't even blink. I felt awkward about the cost. He saw through my hesitation.
You don't need to worry about the expenses. I'll cover it.
I told him.
If we ever break up, please don't make my grandma pull her new teeth out.
He burst out laughing at once. The memory faded. That afternoon at the hotel, I found the presidential suite surrounded by commotion. Julian sat on the sofa in the reception room, his girlfriend, half leaning into his embrace. The manager stood to the side, wearing an apologetic smile. Julian's girlfriend spoke with arrogant superiority.
This morning, I discovered I'd lost a pair of earrings in our room, worth $3 million. And the only people who entered last night were me and the cleaning lady. The cleaning lady was already interrogated. They found nothing. Strip, we're searching you.
She pointed a finger at me. My gaze swept subconsciously toward Julian. Last night, my every move had never left his line of sight. How could I have possibly stolen those earrings right under his nose? But he didn't seem to have any intention of defending me. He just sat there with his legs crossed, watching it all unfold with cold indifference. The manager came over and whispered to persuade me.
We can't afford to offend this VIP. Just play along and cooperate a little.
I clutched my shoulder bag tightly under my arm, keeping my chin up, refusing to compromise. Hearing this, the woman shot up to her feet.
My boyfriend is very busy. We don't have time for police procedures. Mistaken inspector procedure. My earrings are worth over 3 million. A birthday gift. I felt something off about you last night. The moment I came out of the bathroom, I saw you scurrying away. If you didn't have a guilty conscience, why run?
She strode over and snatched my bag. I gripped it desperately, but her strength was astonishing. After a brief struggle, she yanked it away. With a harsh zip, the bag was torn open, everything inside hit the floor.
Take off your jacket. Let's see what else you're hiding.
My fingers trembled as I unzipped my outer layer. I slipped it off and held it out to her. Now the cardigan. I pulled it over my head, my thin camisole the only thing left. Julian sat motionless on the sofa, watching, his jaw tight, his eyes on me the entire time. Julian's voice cut through the silence like a blade, low, controlled, but unmistakably sharp.
Stop.
A moon made of crystal hit the ground and shattered. When Julian's gaze fell upon that crystal moon, a crack appeared in his calm facade, his atoms apple bobbed slightly. He said in a deep voice,
Enough. Stop making a scene. Pick out a new set you like tomorrow.
Julian dismissed the manager and his girlfriend. The reception room fell quiet.
leaving only the two of us staring at each other. Shards of crystal had cut my calf during the struggle, beads of blood seeping through. A flicker of heartache seemed to flash through his eyes. I figured it had to be a hallucination. I crouched down, picking up scattered items one by one. His voice drifted down from above, cold as ice.
Didn't he buy you anything nice? He must have gotten at least some of the scraps back then. And yet he still lets you keep things from your ex-boyfriend?
I stood up, my tone perfectly calm.
We broke up. There's no need for your sarcastic remarks.
He paused, then suddenly let out a laugh.
Got dumped after he had his fun? No wonder you've been reduced to working here. What a pity. If you'd kept up the act a bit longer, you wouldn't have ended up with a loser like Alexander Vance.
I didn't want to hear another word and turned to leave, but he yanked me back and pinned me against the wall. He gripped my chin, tilting my face up to force me to meet his gaze. A dark, turbulent sea rolled in his eyes. He lowered his eyes. His gaze landed on the thin, bloody scratch on my calf. After a long moment, he turned his head away, but his words were meant for me.
I'll take you back. There's medicine in the car.
It was clearly just a minor scratch shot, yet, as if possessed, I still got into his car. I couldn't explain why. Perhaps in that brief moment, I craved the slight softening of his tone, sitting in the passenger seat. I spoke up to emphasize.
I didn't take your girlfriend's earrings.
He didn't reply, as if losing $3 million was of no consequence to him. He just opened his briefcase and rummaged inside. Then he found a box of Band-Aids and tossed it to me.
Deal with it yourself.
As he closed the briefcase, something fell out. It was an amulet, the one I had given him back when he was gravely ill. That year at the Lord's sanctuary, I climbed the steps one by one, praying for him. I thought he would have thrown it away long ago. I never imagined it would still be kept so carefully in his car. He leaned over, picked it up, and tossed it back into the briefcase. His voice carried a trace of mockery.
This thing actually saved my life once. But who would have thought? The one who prayed for this amulet for me was you. And the one who ultimately betrayed me was also you.
He reached over and gripped my chin, forcing me to turn and face him, his thumb pressed against my lower lip. For a fraction of a second, his gaze dropped to my mouth, then his jaw tightened. He released me as if my skin had burned him. His hand flicked away sharply. He turned back to the steering wheel and gripped it hard. The car approached my place. From a distance, I spotted Alexander standing by my door. I glanced sideways at Julian. He had clearly seen him too, his hands on the steering wheel tightened. He slammed on the brakes right in front of Alexander. My body pitched forward from the sudden momentum. Alexander stood there, watching us. He frowned imperceptibly. Julian's icy voice rang out inside the car.
Are you always this entangled with your ex-boyfriends?
I didn't answer him. I simply unbuckled my seatbelt.
Thank you for bringing me back.
Julian kept the doors locked, refusing to let me out. The mocking smile on his lips deepened.
Right, I almost forgot to ask. Did Alexander not even give you a breakup fee? Or did he think you didn't serve him well enough to be worth the price?
Anger surged within me. I instinctively raised my hand and slapped him. Alexander's face changed. He hurried over to the passenger side, knocking anxiously on the window. Julian poked his inner cheek with his tongue, staring at me with dark eyes.
Get out.
I got out of the car. Alexander immediately pulled me over, shielding me behind him. The window rolled down. That amulet was thrown out forcefully. It landed right at my feet. The black sports car roared away like a gust of wind. I squatted on the ground and picked up the amulet. My fingers brushed away the dust. Teardrops fell onto it, blooming into water stains. Alexander squatted beside me, smiling bitterly.
Just tell him the truth. I don't mind if he comes looking for trouble. You don't need to protect me, it's what I deserve.
My voice choked with sobs. Forget it. He and I are in the past. After work the next day, the manager notified me of a staff dinner and sent an address, a high-end club. I was suspicious, but I went. I was led into a private room by a waiter. Unexpectedly, the room was full of Julian's friends. Julian sat at the head of the table, his gaze swept over me carelessly. A familiar-looking man spoke up.
Chloe, right? Your manager said we lost an item worth $3 million belonged to Mr. Vance. Today you were called here as a representative to apologize to him.
I recognized him. The man speaking was the boss of our hotel. Being put on the spot like that, I couldn't just throw a fit and leave. They arranged for me to sit in the empty seat next to Julian. I could only bite the bullet. I picked up the glass of wine in front of me and drank it as a self-punishment. A buddy of Julian stood up and said loudly to me,
"A Fen 7 German's Peace jewelry can't be one of Bei's with just been title. About this. 100,000 per glace."
His tone was full of vindictiveness. The net of heaven is vast, and I am the sinner caught in it. Julian glanced at me impassively and twitched his lips.
$300,000 a glass. Switch to vodka.
Glass after glass of liquor was poured into my stomach, spicy and scalding as if it were going to burn a hole right through my chest. Julian sat at the head of the table, watching me drink. His expression, unreadable. His friend leaned over and whispered something in his ear. Julian's eyes flickered toward me for a split second. He lifted his chin almost imperceptibly toward the waiter standing by the wall. The waiter nodded and slipped away. When the next glass was set in front of me, I picked it up and downed it. The bottle on that tray had been switched. Clear liquid, yes, but no longer vodka. Julian had signaled for water, and the waiter had complied. But my eyes still grew blurry from the alcohol. I slumped over the table. I vaguely heard his buddy ask him,
Just hit it again if you're that wung up on her. I'll have someone send her to a room upstairs.
Julian smiled disdainfully.
Alexander got tired of playing with her. You think I still care? Fine. Beat her up if you want. I already gave you the room card anyway.
I didn't know how long I slept in my dreams. I went back to the time when we were deeply in love. Back then, his heart ached for my cramps. He took me to a specialist. The prescription tasted awful. Every time I choked it down with a grimace, he'd slip a chocolate into my mouth. I'd scowl and say I was never taking it again. He'd pull me into his arms and cut my face. Then his mouth would come down on mine, sudden and deep, the half-melted chocolate, dissolving between our lips. His voice was deep and bewitching.
Is it still bitter like this?
I blushed and answered his question with one of my own.
Is this how you coax your girlfriends into taking their medicine?
He smiled.
What other girlfriends? I've only ever coaxed you like this.
Suddenly, the bed dipped. The man in the dream was no longer rubbing against me gently. His kisses grew increasingly fierce and rough as if he wanted to tear me apart and swallow me whole. Everything became more and more real, so real that I could hardly catch my breath. I instinctively pressed against his chest. Subconsciously, I said,
Julian, be gentle.
His grip on my waist tightened. His mouth crushed against mine. What started as a kiss turned desperate. 3 years of everything he'd held back, pouring out at once. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't think. The next second, I struggled to open my eyes. Our eyes met. We were both speechless for a long time. Perhaps it was the alcohol. I looked at him.
Back then, I didn't betray you.
His Adam's apple bobbed, voice hoarse as sandpaper.
Then tell me, why were you with him?
Just as I was about to speak, my phone rang. Alexander's call. It was like a basin of cold water poured over my head. I sobered instantly. I struggled to prop myself up, but he pushed me right back down. He gritted his teeth.
Chloe, explain yourself clearly.
He looked down at me with burning eyes. I turned my head, avoiding his gaze.
I have nothing more to say.
He laughed, a faint hint of tears seeping into his eyes.
You like him that much? One call from him and you can't wait to go back? Chloe, I must be out of my fucking mind to think you had your reasons.
I was kicked out of the room by Julian. I walked down the corridor, unsteady. Sunlight crept through the hallway windows. I looked down. I was wearing his shirt, the white dress shirt from last night. Hanging past my thighs, the collar smelled like him. The door opened behind me. Julian stood there holding 2 cups of coffee. He saw what I was wearing for a moment. Neither of us spoke, like we'd done this 1,000 times before. Then his expression hardened. He set 1 cup on the table by the door.
Get out. I'm done waiting.
That night, I lay awake in my staff quarters. Footsteps paced in the corridor, stopped right in front of my door, then silence. My phone lit up, 1 missed call from a number I'd memorized years ago. It had rung twice before hanging up. I heard a hand touch the doorknob, then nothing, just retreating footsteps fading down the hall. I walked out of the club into the early morning air. The air was slightly cool, yet Julian's girlfriend wore thin, sexy clothes. She held a phone in her hand and passed by me without even looking at me properly. As we brushed past each other, she bumped into me as if on purpose. I let out a muffled groan, but she ignored it completely. I heard her on the phone, whining in a sickly sweet tone.
Not wearing one? I'm overvating today. Will you take responsibility if something happens? Marriage? Are you serious?
My footsteps froze. The words hit me like a physical blow. Right in front of me, talking about marriage, about a future with Julian. At the hotel entrance, Alexander's car was already parked there. Seeing me come, he hurried over and helped me into the car.
What happened? Did you drink a lot?
I remained silent, and he didn't ask any more questions. The car drove through the early hour. I watched the scenery outside the car window, rapidly retreating backwards. I suddenly said to Alexander,
Let's go back.
Let's go back in a couple of days.
For the past 3 years, he has always been by my side. When we were abroad, he told me he'd liked me for many years, since a fleeting glance in our first year of high school. To this day, his feelings remained unchanged, but my heart was already stuffed with every memory of Julian and our past. I politely rejected him, so he stayed in the friend zone, accompanying me until now. Upon returning home, I went into the bathroom and took off my clothes to take a shower. Turning around, I saw myself in the mirror. An ugly scar crawled across my abdomen, left behind by the kidney donation surgery back then. That year, Julian fell gravely ill. His kidneys were failing and needed a transplant. That year, Julian forbade me from getting tested for a match. He said he'd rather die than let me remove a kidney for him. I begged all of his brothers and sisters. Only Alexander was willing to get tested, but he wasn't a match either. I hid it from Julian and secretly went to another hospital. I was the only match, but I had staged a hypertension. The doctor warned the risks were extremely high. I looked at Alexander.
What do you think I should do?
He was quiet for a long moment, then he said, voice heavy,
It's your choice. But whatever you decide, I'll be there.
I couldn't care about all that anymore. The surgery was performed at another hospital, kept secret from Julian. I had Alexander help me put on that act. Besides him, no one knew, because strict lifelong monitoring was required after the surgery. Alexander helped me contact top specialists abroad and took me overseas. Later, while abroad, my kidney function declined. Now, the doctor advised surgery. He warned it carried very high risks. Walking out of the hospital that day, Alexander suddenly asked me,
Is there anything you want to do?
The breeze was light and the sun was warm that day, yet I stood on a foreign street and burst into tears. Alexander, I want to see him one more time. Alexander's expression shifted. His voice was careful.
Chloe, are you sure? He's made it very clear how he feels about you. You know what going back means.
I wiped my face with the back of my hand. I'm sure. If the outcome this time is truly unpredictable, then let me have one proper, final meeting with him. Alexander looked at me for a long moment. His eyes were full of things he didn't say, then he exhaled slowly.
Okay, we'll go back. I'll book the flights right now.
He pulled out his phone and started typing. I watched him, my chest tight with something between gratitude and guilt. Alexander came to see me that evening. His expression was heavy. He sat down across from me and said,
I went to see Julian today, at his company.
I froze. Alexander continued carefully.
I walked into his office and placed a surgical record on his desk.
Julian's eyelids suddenly twitched violently. Frowning, he opened that surgical record. When the patient's name in the first column caught his eye, his entire body seemed to freeze. The color drained from his face in an instant. Alexander looked at Julian, suddenly pale-faced, speaking at a leisurely pace.
Chloe and I were high school classmates. I've liked her since then. When we met again later, she came to beg me to get tested as a match for you. That was when she learned you and I are half-brothers.
Julian's hand trembled as he held the record, knuckles white.
That rumor was fake. She hid it from you and got tested herself. We were just putting on an act. I had no choice but to help her deceive you.
For the past 3 years, she and I have been completely innocent. Nothing happened between us. Her surgery is scheduled for next Monday. I asked her if she had any unfulfilled wishes. She said she wanted to return to the country to see you.
Julian asked hoarsely.
Did you arrange for her to be at that hotel too?
Yes.
I knew you had a long-term suite at that hotel. It was the only place where you two could bump into each other by chance without getting too deeply involved.
After Alexander left, Julian closed his eyes in despair. His hand trembled. Coffee spilled onto his suit pants. He curled up on the sofa, breaking down into loud sobs. The kidney, which seemed to fall from the sky, was secretly marked with the most expensive price. That night, Julian sat alone in his study. A friend came by.
Forget her. She made her choice.
Julian didn't look up. His phone showed an old photo of me.
I can't forget her.
The man who hated me for 3 years had been breaking apart inside all along. The next day, Alexander drove me to the hospital. I finished my pre-op preparations in the hospital room. I kept taking deep breaths nervously. Alexander had just gone somewhere unknown. I craned my neck to look toward the door. To my surprise, I saw Julian appear right in front of me. I was too nervous, so nervous that I started hallucinating. His face was full of dejection, the stubble on his chin unshaven, his eyes were completely violet. He had always been so particular about his appearance. The last time I saw him this unkempt was when he was severely ill. That figure drew closer and closer to me. I clearly heard him call my name with a trembling voice.
Chloe, if I had known it was like this, I would rather you had truly betrayed me back then.
With red eyes, he cupped my hand in his palms. His scalding tears fell drop by drop onto the back of my hand. So it wasn't my hallucination after all. He really came to see me, such a handsome face, now completely drenched in tears.
I want you to make it out alive. It was my fault. I owe you. When you come out, let's start over, okay?
The night before my surgery, I lay in the hospital bed. Drifting in and out of sleep, Julian sat beside me the entire time. He hadn't left once. Sometime past midnight, I half-dash woke. My throat was dry.
Julian?
The name slipped out before I could stop it. His hand found mine instantly, gripping it firmly.
I'm here. I'm not going anywhere.
His face in the dim light looked exhausted, but his eyes were wide open, watching me like he was afraid I'd disappear if he blinked.
Go to sleep. I'll be right here when you wake up.
His thumb traced slow circles on the back of my hand. The moment I was wheeled out of the ward, I squeezed his hand back. After all these years, I was still full of courage.
Okay, I'll make it out alive.
The last thing I saw before the doors closed was Julian's face. Pale, rigid, his eyes locked on mine. Then the operating room swallowed me. When I woke, the first thing I felt was his hand gripping mine. The room was quiet. The operating light was off. Julian sat beside my bed, still in the suit jacket I'd once bought for him in all the years we'd been apart. He hadn't worn it once, but even during the 3 years he hated me the most, he'd never thrown it away. His hand rested in the suit pocket. He pulled something out, and his palm lay over a dozen dried lilac blossoms. The petals had withered long ago. I remembered that early summer, the lilacs on campus had bloomed like a sea of stars. Ordinary lilacs usually have 4 petals. Occasionally there are 5-petaled ones, which are said to symbolize good luck. I told Julian that if you make a wish on a 5-petaled lilac, it will come true, so I dragged him all over looking for 5-petaled lilacs. He found it amusing.
If you want 5-petaled ones, I'll have someone deliver a whole truckload to you.
But I said it only counted as good luck if I found them myself with a sincere heart, so he had to accompany me all over campus looking for 5-petaled flowers. In the end, we finally collected 18 5-petaled lilacs. After making my wish back then, I had secretly hidden the flowers in his pocket. He looked at the dried petals in his hand now, his lips curled to smile, but his throat tightened with a sudden ache. He closed his hand, gripping the petals tightly. On the boundary between life and death, this time it was his turn to make a wish.
I made a wish back then. I want to be with you year after year.
That sentence had become permanently etched in his heart and his lifelong ambition. Days passed. The doctor said my recovery was going well. Julian refused to leave my side. He fed me water. Cup by cup, he helped me walk down the hallway, one slow step at a time. When I got tired, I leaned my head against his shoulder. He didn't say anything. He just let me rest there. One afternoon, I woke up from a nap and felt cold. Julian noticed immediately. He picked up his jacket from the chair and draped it over me. It was his white dress shirt. The same one I'd worn that morning after the night we'd spent together. I pulled it tighter around myself. The collar still smelled like him. He asked it casually, but his eyes stayed on my face.
Does it fit?
It's too big. But it's warm. He reached over and tucked the collar around my neck. His fingers brushed my jaw. For a moment, neither of us moved. A week later, the doctor cleared me to go home. Julian drove me himself. He opened every door for me, carried every bag. At the entrance to my apartment building, Alexander was waiting. He nodded at Julian, a silent acknowledgement between 2 men who both loved the same woman. Julian's arms settled around my waist, possessive, unyielding. Alexander saw it and said nothing. He just looked at me and smiled.
Take care of yourself, Chloe. I'll be abroad if you need anything.
I nodded.
Thank you, Alexander. For everything.
He turned and walked away without looking back. Julian watched him go. Then he looked down at me.
He's gone. Are you ready? Let's go home.
Home. He said it so easily, like the last 3 years had never happened. That night, I sat by the window while Julian made dinner in the kitchen. The domesticity of it all still felt unreal. He came out carrying the bowls, set them on the table, then sat across from me.
I called the hotel today. Resigned your position for you.
I blinked at him.
You what?
You're not going back to work there. Not ever.
I opened my mouth to argue, but he kept talking.
I also called the Vance Group legal team. The hotel violated multiple labor laws during that whole search incident. If you want, we can sue them into the ground.
He paused, then added,
By the way, her earrings turned up. They'd fallen behind the nightstand in the suite. She'd misplaced them herself.
Julian, I didn't...
I know what you're going to say. You're going to say it doesn't matter, that you just want to move on.
He reached across the table and took my hand.
But it matters to me. Everything they did to you matters to me.
I looked at him, really looked at him. The man who had humiliated me, hurt me, broken me, and then put himself back together piece by piece just to earn forgiveness he might never fully deserve. Fine. Sue them. His eyebrows rose.
That's my girl.
I rolled my eyes, but I felt the corner of my mouth twitch, almost a smile. One evening, Julian sat beside me and spoke quietly.
3 years after you walked away, a friend mentioned seeing you at his hotel. I checked, and you'd actually come back, working as a receptionist.
He paused.
I had a permanent suite there. I never brought anyone home. Over those 3 years, I changed girlfriends one after another. But there was a gaping hole in my heart. No one could fill it. That void was shaped exactly like you.
I listened, my chest tight.
The day I took her to check in, you happened to be on duty. I deliberately held her hand and walked right up to you. She didn't know I'd timed my arrival for your shift. I called the front desk over and over, asking for the sheets to be changed. Just to see you. Until that crystal fell out of your bag. The cheapest gift I'd ever given you, yet it made my heart soften instantly.
He looked at me.
I never got over you. Those nights when I secretly replaced your vodka with water, I was protecting you all along. When I kissed you like a madman in that hotel room, I wasn't taking revenge. I was trying to hold on to the only person who had ever truly loved me.
Spring came early that year. The lilacs outside the hospital window were starting to bloom. Again, I sat on the bench in the garden, letting the sun warm my face. Julian appeared with 2 cups of coffee. He handed me one and sat down beside me.
Remember these?
He pointed up at the lilac branches overhead. 5-petaled ones scattered among the ordinary 4-petaled blooms. I squinted up at the branches.
How many do you think we can find this time? We're not climbing all over campus this time. My scar is still healing, in case you forgot.
He laughed. A real laugh. Not the cold mocking sound I'd grown used to hearing.
Fair point. I'll do the climbing. You just sit here and make wishes.
I turned to look at him. What would I even wish for? He set down his coffee and took my hand. His thumb traced the faint line of my surgical scar where my sleeve had ridden up.
You don't need to wish anymore. Everything I have is yours. Everything I am is because of you.
The wind carried the scent of lilacs toward us. I leaned my head against his shoulder.
Then I wish for this. Right here. Just like this. Year after year.
Some nights, I still wake up reaching for the edge of the bed. From the years when I slept alone in foreign hospitals and empty apartments. But every time, his hand finds mine before I can pull away.
I'm here.
He says it half asleep, eyes still closed. And I remember, I'm home now. The scar on my abdomen will stay with me forever. A permanent reminder of the price I paid. But when Julian's arms wrap around me, even the scar feels different now. not a wound. A proof that love doesn't always make sense.